everyone, this is Brian with Diamond Audio, and today we're going to be talking about the cut-in lid kit for the 2014 and up Harley Davidsons. This is a complete kit, includes everything you need to cut the hole, mount the grill and the inner support, speakers, spacers, and gaskets that you may need, stainless steel hardware. What we're going to do today is we're going to go over all the parts and show you how to cut the lid kit in to each of the bags. We're going to do one bag today and then assemble it all together and show you what it looks like when it's finished. Again, what you get two plastic templates that you'll align on the lid, get it all secured down, and we're going to show you how to cut that out. You get the inner mount that goes on the inside of the lid. You get the outer grill that goes on the outside. These are both have a foam lining to make this a watertight seal, so you don't have leaking between the parts and the bag lid. You're going to have a rubber gasket and a spacer, and I'll show you what those are for a little later on when we assemble these together. And then you've got stainless steel hardware to mount the inner and outer piece. You've got stainless steel screws to mount the speakers from the inside. And then you've got some extra screws here that are for use with the spacer if you need it. And I'll show you where that might come in handy. For now, what we're going to do is take this out and cut the lid kit. Before I do that, let's talk about how this goes together. So what you're going to want to do before you start is get yourself some painter's tape. I like the 3M 233 green tape myself. You can use regular blue painter's tape, but use a good quality tape because you want this stuff to stick so that you protect the paint of these lid kits, especially if you're doing something on somebody's bike that's a custom paint job or something like that, or a rare color. So what I did is I taped all the way down. You can see where the edge comes all the way back here, well past the edge of the lid kit template. So you're going to get it all secured down. Make sure that this right here is pushed all the way down, in and back, so that you don't have any gaps along here. If you have a gap and you cut this, it won't align right. So you want to make sure you get it set in there, pressed in nice and tight. And then you're going to tape all the way around the template and tape it to the lid. Okay, and get it held in place. The next thing we'll do, and we'll do this when we get out in the shop and we start prepping this to cut it, you're going to drill two holes in the center that are already pre-drilled in the template. You're going to drill into the bag. You're going to put a screw in each one of these holes, and that's going to hold the center in place while we drill the other holes we need to drill and cut. We're going to drill 5/16 holes all the way around. You'll see there's markings for them. You drill a 5/16 inch hole in all these different spots. And then we're going to take a jigsaw or a air saw, whatever you prefer to use, and you're going to run that all the way around. And again, I'll show you that outside. You'll cut that hole open, we'll clean up the edge, deburr it, then we'll come back in and we'll assemble it. Alright guys, so let me get us set up outside and we'll go out there and get this cut and we'll walk you through it. And then when we're done, we'll come back in and finish up inside. So stay tuned. Alright guys, I got everything set up out here for us to get the lid kit cut into the lid top. So what we've got are a few tools here that I'm going to mention and talk about so you know what you need to get this done. First things first, you're going to need a drill, and either a drill with a screwdriver bit or a manual screwdriver. You're going to need a 5/16 inch drill bit, a 1/8 inch drill bit. You're going to need either a jigsaw or an air saw. Those are the best options. If you're using a jigsaw, I would recommend using these bits that are specially designed for plastics. This one says plexiglass, but it also works on the ABS of this. The big thing with that is that the ABS gets hot and wants to melt back together, so you have to kind of work with that and be prepared for that. If you're using an air saw, they don't really make a blade for plastic. You're just going to want to use the least tooth count that you can find, lowest tooth count, and kind of cut it slow. I can't find my edger, so to clean up the edge, there's a little tool that they make. I misplaced mine, so I'm just going to use a file, which most of you guys should have. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with 1/8 inch drill bit. You're going to go into these two holes right here in the middle. You're going to drill a hole in each one, pre-drill them. Okay. Then take a couple of screws. You can use the long stainless steel screws for mounting the speakers if you don't have extra screws laying around. But what you want to do is you want to put the screws in, and what they're going to do is they're going to hold the template in place as you start to cut, so it doesn't come loose or move around. Okay, so you just want them in there tight enough to hold it in place. You don't need to like over tighten them or try to strip them or anything like that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and swap bits, and we're going to, you got all of these holes all the way around the template. What you're going to do is you're going to mark, you're just going to go in and drill out those holes. Alright, so there's that. You got them all drilled. Okay, so we're done with the drills, so I can put those off to the side for now. Alright, so what you're going to do next is you're either going to use the jigsaw or the air saw, and I think what I'll do is I'll show you guys how to do it both ways, okay? And actually it really doesn't matter. The biggest thing is you want to stay inside, you want to cut to the inside of this template. Just follow those drill holes and just follow along as you go around, okay? You want to try to stay to that inside of the template so that it doesn't cut the hole too big. Just stay right along that edge, okay? And we'll get it done. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start with the jigsaw, and I may switch over to the air saw depending on how I feel the hole needs to be cut. Okay, before I do that, safety glasses are important. Nice open hole. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the template off here. Okay. Just removing the tape that we use to tape the template down. We're not taking the tape that's on the lid off yet. Okay. Okay, there's our nice clean cut. I'm going to go ahead and just take this and just file that edge real gently, nothing too severe. Okay. High spot right here I'm going to take off with the air saw. Okay. So what we'll go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the tape off, and then we'll take this inside and we'll finish up. I'll show you guys how to assemble it inside with the lid kit and the speaker. Alright guys, so that's where we're at for now. We'll be back. Alright everyone, we're back. We got the hole cut in the lid here, ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the process and what's needed to get the lid kit and the speaker mounted into the lid. So you've got your bag of screws that you had in your kit. What you're going to find in there is you're going to find 8 stainless steel machine screws. These are for attaching the mount and the grill together on the lid. And you're going to have 8 stainless steel screws for attaching the speaker to the lid kit. These black screws that are here, the only time you're going to use those is if you have to use this spacer, which you will need for the MS69CX. Okay, and I'll talk about that in another video when we actually do an MS69CX mount to this. Okay, the one part you are going to need with the HXM69F4, which is the first kit that we'll be shipping, is there is a rubber gasket in there. Okay, and what that gasket does is it goes on top of the speaker. As you can see here, there is an irregularity in the speaker where it has some gaps, so it doesn't seal completely. So that rubber gasket goes in, it actually keys into those notches in the top of the basket there, and that's going to help seal it and keep water from potentially getting in those. Not that you should really have a water problem there, but the other thing that you're going to want to do on these speakers on the back is there is a rubber seal back here. You're going to want to take that rubber seal off so it doesn't get in the way when you're mounting the speaker. Okay, so that one you're going to take off and just put it aside. You're not going to use it. Okay, so then what we're going to do to get it all assembled, you're going to need a 2.5 millimeter Allen driver. I like to use these. They're RC car Allen drivers. If you've ever played with RC cars or planes or anything like that, these come in very handy. Work great for you assembling stuff when you're using Allen screws, because you're not trying to do a T-handle or just a right angle Allen. These work really good, and they're super strong. So I don't think I've ever stripped a head of one of these ever in all the years I've owned them. So you're going to use that. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. I also have a drill driver here with a Phillips head on it, and I'll show you how I go about putting those to use here in just a second. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the grill on the outside of the lid, kind of semi-line it up, and then you're going to take the mount and you're going to set it on the inside. And what you want to do, you're going to want to line it up, but let me show you this as well. If you can see on that grill, it has machine thread inserts already embedded in it. So we're using machine screws, not plastic screws or anything else. It's an actual machine fastener to assemble our lid kit. So we're going to get these kind of all centered up, and when you put these together, you want to make sure that you don't tighten them all up or tighten them too tight as you start to assemble it. You're going to take these screws and you're just going to get them started at first. Okay, so you're going to, I like to start with the ones in the deeper holes, so I'm going to start with the outer one over here and then work my way across and then over and then up to the easiest one to see and reach. Okay, and the reason being is it just will line up a little easier, and if you have to kind of manipulate one to get it all in, that one is the easiest one. And I dropped my screw. Hang on. So let's get these in. Okay, and like I said, you just want to barely get them started so that you can manipulate the lid kit as needed to get them all lined up and situated properly. Then you can go around tightening them all up. Okay, so get this one in. See what I mean? Okay, a couple of threads there. Because these lids are a little bit of an irregular shape, you know, with the lid kit going together, you kind of have to manipulate things around just to get them to line up appropriately to get the screws started. Okay, and again, just a few threads to get each one started, and then you go back around and tighten everything up. Okay, I've got them all started now. Okay, so now I'm going to start where I go back to the beginning, the one that I did first, tighten it down a little bit more, and work my way in a crisscross pattern around the kit. Okay, and I'm not going to try to tighten each one up all the way. I'm going to do this a couple of times so that we're pulling even pressure all the way around. Okay, so then again up here one more time, and this should be about the point that we're tightening them all the way up. Okay, you don't need to try to like Superman tighten these down. They just need to be really snug so that the foam seals on the kit are making a good contact, so we don't have any leaking. Okay. And that's it. They're in. Okay. Very simple, very straightforward. Lid kit is mounted and looks great. Okay. So then what we're going to do is take the speaker itself and mount it. Okay. Got that rubber seal on there. I've removed the seal off of the back. I'm going to align this in here so that the speaker terminals are towards the back of the lid. Okay. And that just seems to be the easier way when you put the lid kit or put the lid back together and you want to hide the wires under the cloth inside, then that makes it a lot easier to do so. Okay, so I'm going to use my drill driver on these screws. I'm going to just kind of get them started with the drill driver. I'm not going to be tightening them all the way down with that. I'm just going to get them in and get them started. Okay, so that will make it easier to do the rest of it, because we will be tightening them down by hand with a hand driver. I'm not a fan of using a drill to mount speakers all the way down, because it's very easy if you get in a hurry to damage the speaker or over tighten and strip out the mount. So we're just going to just get it started. Get them in there, not all the way down. Again, just trying to reduce time, but still want to get a good contact. Okay, so it's semi-mounted in there now. Now I'm just going to take my screwdriver and just by hand tighten these up. Okay. And again, I'm going to go in a crisscross pattern all the way around. So. And again, just need to be snug. You don't have to over tighten these. You don't want to risk stripping the mount itself or tightening too tight that you crack the plastic frame of this speaker. Okay, it would take quite a bit, but it can be done. And that's why I don't like using the battery powered drill, because some of those drills that people use, you get a 16 or 18 volt drill, and that thing's got a lot of torque behind it, and it can very easily damage the parts that you're assembling. Okay, so we're all the way sealed up. I'm just going to go around one more time and just make sure none are loose. Okay, just a good snug fit. Good. 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 All right. Lid kit is assembled. Speaker is mounted. Okay. If you guys are wondering about the green tape, I put tape on the back of the magnet just to protect it when you're setting it down, picking it up, you know, working around the shop, so you don't scratch it. Keeps it nice for the consumer when they get it back at the end. Plus, you know, they see it in their bike and it's not all marred up. It looks nice and pretty. You know, they spent a bunch of money on that speaker. Let's keep it nice. Okay. But that's it. Then you would just work on getting the speaker wiring itself finished up. There are instructions that will be on the website on how we recommend wiring up the bag. If you guys have questions about that, go ahead and message me. And if I think it's necessary, then I'll do a video on how to install the wiring in the bag as well. Alright guys, good luck, thank you, and we will see you guys in the next video.